We are supercharging the excitement for Euro 2024 with a special giveaway. 3 lucky winners will be celebrating with €100 cash prize each at the final. All you need to do is complete the social tasks on 𝐿𝐵𝐴. The more you participate, the higher odds of winning. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description and complete all tasks now.
Hello and welcome to Odds On Euro Match Day 2, Groups A and B. We have a big game, Italy-Spain, and of course we have our Italian tipster, Dani Fisichella, and our Spanish tipster, Alvaro, Romeo. Guys, discuss, but with peace, with ease. A draw is good for both sides, so
yes,
relax and enjoy our show. Guys, remember, of course, to leave your comments, press the like, subscribe, and now let's go on with the show. Well, let's start with Group A. The first game we are gonna analyze is Germany-Hungary. So far, I would say Germany was the best team in the Euros, the best performance we've seen so far, not only for the result, but the way they played, and even individual performances like Fritz, like Musiala, like Toni Kroos. So really good debut for the Mannschaft. Now they can qualify already for the next round if they beat Hungary. I guess we were a bit disappointed by Hungary in the first game against Switzerland, even if they pushed for the draw in the second half. So if we want to play bets for this game, Dani, you trusted a little bit Scotland against Germany, giving them an Asian half plus something, Asian handicap plus something. I'm not sure if we should go for Asian handicap minus something for Germany after the first match.
Well, Germany highlighted that they are much ahead in their development than we actually thought under Nagelsmann. So very good tactical prowess, very good movement up front, a lot of precision, timing, well-drilled patterns. That's what you could see in all the goals from Germany, especially in the first half. There was a pattern of play. There was a system that in place that worked really well. And, you know, the way the attackers moved, create spaces, making the runs in behind, all orchestrated by Toni Kroos and Gundogan, who dominated absolutely the midfield. You know, the goal from Musiala, probably the best one. Musiala created space for 𝐜𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴 and then set up the goal as well. The goal from 𝗀𝗏𝗏, a clever run by Gundogan. And yeah, Germany were much better. Scotland switched to a 5-2-3-2 formation. Germany exploited the space. Then, of course, when Porteous was sent off, it was basically game over. But, you know, yeah, good impression from Germany. Tactical awareness, a good shift to a 4-2-3-1 formation. And, you know, I think it's a reminder that they got a lot of talent and they got one of the best managers in Europe that he's used to be unfortunate at Bayern, but he's doing a good work. And I think it continues the trend of the home factor, having this little slide more advantage. I read in some betting guide, usually home factor in the Euros counts are a plus 0.45 goals more for the home team. So normally Germany games are going to be over 2.5 goals. They're going to be a few goals. But now let's see, because they're going to play against Hungary, a Hungary side that should show more ambition than what Scotland has done. And a bit like Turkey at Euro 2021, Hungary was everyone's dark horses, and they had a lot of expectations. And yeah, they were condemned by a very poor defending, but especially I was surprised they couldn't break down Switzerland formation. Very, very organized. A bit of vulnerabilities for Hungary, especially in transitions. But yeah, scoring, conceding 2 goals early certainly didn't help. Look, I think Hungary obviously are the underdogs here, but they are very resilient. They do manage to find goals against top teams. They have improved in second half against Switzerland, and I think they will concede against Germany. But on the other hand, I think Germany, previously, that defense has been exposed. So maybe Hungary could exploit the gap, at least to score once. I like the both teams to score here. The odds are high, by the way. They are 2.10. probably a Germany win with an over 2.5 goals.
Well, in the last 7 years, if we check the head-to-head between these two teams, it's 2 draws for Hungary, 1 win for Hungary. The last one in 2022 in the Nations League, played that game in Germany, but Germany, they didn't have any problems against Scotland. The both teams to score was kind of a miracle. And also, Alvaro, the options that Nagelsmann has on the bench, because I guess there is a debate whether 𝐿𝐿𝐴 should play or 𝐿𝐿𝐴, for instance. I didn't like Sané. I think he's far away from the others who started the game.
Yeah, I agree. In my opinion, Sané and Dani Olmo for Spain played with the anxiety of a footballer who knows that has lost their position. I'm talking about Dani Olmo as well, because in the second half against Croatia was also playing with anxiety. And the same thing happened to Leroy Sané. But I think that right now he doesn't have a place in the lineup, sadly for him. But Musiala and Florian Wirtz, they were phenomenal. And I did like Germany. In my opinion, Germany has been so far, to date, the best team in the tournament. We still have to wait for other big teams to play. But the display against Scotland was very good. Of course, it helped that Scotland was reduced to 10 men in the first half. But I like the dynamism of Germany. And I also like, and I find it difficult to explain this, but I think that Germany normally takes the tournaments they host with an optimism and positive approach that is very good for them. I remember 2006, it was the feast of German football, and it kicked off the German football new wave in 2006. And I compare it, for example, with Brazil in 2014, and the country was hysterical about winning the tournament, but they took the tournament in the wrong way. I think that Germany approaches these tournaments with a lot of positive attitude. The German fan base and the German team as well. Man, Germany was phenomenal. I mean, there are a few things that Nagelsmann has done that are very impressive for me. For example, when you break that sempiternal double pivot of 𝐿𝐿𝐴 and Goretzka, because Germany has been playing for 4 or 5 years with them both, it is very tempting to put in midfield the best 2 players you have, Toni Kroos and 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 Gundogan. But he didn't do that. Nagelsmann played Toni Kroos in possession almost as a third center back, and 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 Gundogan was next to the striker, next to 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴. The distance between them both, the distance between the best 2 midfielders of Germany was at times a 40-meter distance. So Nagelsmann has changed a few dynamics. He put Gundogan between the lines up front, which is the best position for him right now. He put Toni Kroos at the base, and that worked very well for Germany because they had quality throughout the pitch. And I also believe that Musiala and Florian Wirtz, they believe that this can be their tournament. They are so young, but still so audacious. And 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴, yes, I understand why 𝐿𝐿𝐴 could be a good candidate to start a football game, because the goal he scored the other day was beautiful. He's a player who fires very quickly, and this is the best thing he's got. He doesn't waste a single second in the box. But on the other hand, I have the feeling that Nagelsmann is more inclined to play 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴. I think that he likes him a lot. So I'm gonna back Germany here, because Hungary, yes, they were competitive in the second half against Switzerland. The best weapon they've got are the crosses. I think the crosses of Szoboszlai were very good, either in set pieces or in open play. The dead balls were dangerous as well. They created chances in the second half for Orban, for Vargas, who scored. But I think that Hungary was a little bit rigid. At times, Switzerland was way better. And I think that Germany is better than Switzerland, and they are going to beat the Hungarians. So I've got a plethora of odds here, because this game is my favorite from the show to bet. My best bet would be, I think, Germany to score over 2.5 goals in this game. There is an element of risk here, 2.2. Germany to win both halves will be my highest earner, 263, but I believe that this can happen. And if you want to go for the conservative approach, it will be Germany to win and over 2.5 goals in this game. So, for example, a 2-1 for Germany will give you money in this case. That pays 173.
Okay, perhaps we can see a prop bet, like a fight between Martin Adam and Niklas 𝐿𝐿𝐴. This would be a nice pair. It was one of the images of the first match day in the Euros. Martin Adam came in the pitch, the player right now in South Korea playing well. Germany, Hungary is very important. They need at least a point and then beat Scotland to have options to qualify for the next round. Is almost done also for Switzerland if they get a point or if they beat Scotland. They are favorites for this game, but still good odds if you are back in Switzerland, 1.89, especially because Scotland, they've been the poorest team in the Euro so far, not only because they were playing the second half with 10 men, but I think they took the game really cautious, in a really cautious way. They didn't create a single chance. The best performance were their fans, actually, in the city and in their stadium. Alvaro, would you take these odds for Switzerland to win? They look good to me.
Yes, I take them. Look, for some other games, I have picked a few odds here and there, but for this game, for me, it's quite straightforward. I'm going to go for Switzerland to win. Of course, Daniele may disagree, and he will explain why, but I think that Scotland the other day were run over by a team that was far better than them. Switzerland is nowhere near the quality of Germany, but I still believe that the Swiss will win it. Why? To start with, Switzerland played very well in the first half against Hungary. At times, they covered the perimeter of Hungary's 18-yard box with such a guile and such hunger that it was very impressive to see. The amount of balls that they recovered in that game tells you that they are ready for the duels. In fact, they were the leaders in balls recovered before Sunday until Slovenia played against Denmark, but Switzerland recovered 38 balls against Hungary, which was a very good number. A few players step out for me. I didn't have a lot of references about 𝐿𝐿𝐴. He was playing his second game for Switzerland, and the truth is that he played well up front. He scored a goal, and he was playing up front because Embolo had a season hampered by an ACL injury. But when Embolo came in, he also scored as well. By the way, how did he not trip when scoring that goal? Probably you have seen the action, but he controlled the ball, and the knee support that he was wearing fell down his leg as he was running, and he didn't stumble, but he could have. Anyway, lovely goal for Embolo. Granit Xhaka was phenomenal. He could have scored a header, by the way, had 𝐿𝐴 not saved it. And I also think that Ndiaye was quite dynamic. He couldn't even finish the game because he was knackered, but he tried many dribbles. And I would like to single out as well 𝐬𝐵𝐵𝐶𝐻 with an assist and a goal. A footballer that saw the fruits of pressing sometimes are those. You press up front, you get the ball, and then you can create things, you can score goals. I like Switzerland in general. I think that Fabian Schär was very good in defense as well, and he had a couple of audacious runs in attack. And when it comes to the Scottish side, look, the other day they suffer. I remember that the first significant thing that, for example, their striker did, Che Adams, was having a duel with 𝗼 after 37 minutes. And that was the first meaningful action of Scotland in attack in the game. Then there was a red card, and we know how it went for them. They lost the possession clearly to Germany. And just based on what I saw, I think that Switzerland was very good in the first game, and Scotland, were poor, and at the same time, Germany were very good. So I'm going to back Switzerland to win, 186. I think the money is good enough, and I'm going to stay there.
There are people saying, Dani, that summer doesn't start until you see Ricardo Rodriguez on TV. He plays every 2 years only for the Swiss national team. Then he disappears, but he's been...
He plays for Torino. He's a regular.
Exactly. He's been in
and playing, by the way, in central positions for the first time, because normally he's been a wing back, but this time he played as a center back in a 3-man center back. I've never seen him in central channels until this summer.
Well, Dani, this group can be game over if Germany win, as we expect, and also Switzerland does the same.
Well, Scotland were outmatched on the field by Germany. No shots on target for them in the game. The goal was quite fortuitous, but it's really the lack of ambition and a poor performance all around. Something that perhaps the Scottish fan could have expected, and maybe I was naive to back them with a +2 Asian handicap. After all, recently Scotland have lost against all the top teams they played after beating Spain. They lost to Netherlands, France, Spain again. So yeah, it is something that, yeah, it could have been expected, but I didn't expect Scotland to be so vulnerable at the back in defense. They conceded 26 goals in the last 10 matches, Scotland. The goalkeeper, Angus Gunn, who plays for Norwich, I see him regularly, not perfect in a couple of goals. So again, a bit of goalkeeper uncertainty. But yeah, I think Scotland's defense looked very confused. They didn't know whether to step out, whether to hold. The clever runs in behind from the Germany players really frustrated them, made them really, really confused. And now Steve Clarke has a bit of a doubt in his mind because he might have to change the formation, going back to a back four. So to make them even more solid, more compact. This is the oldest squad in the tournament as well. Maybe they're physically and mentally fragile, but certainly need an improvement. It's gonna be difficult against a Switzerland team that showed a lot of urgency, dominated the game against Hungary, and definitely exceeded expectation. We were thinking before the tournament start, well, Switzerland is a little bit fading, you know, they haven't got any superstar, but the superstar of Switzerland is the organization, the way they play, the structure. They are also very flexible, playing with 3 at the back, sometimes with 4. They got players who can cover different positions. And up front, certainly the likes of Vargas, Embolo was mentioned by Alvaro as well. Players that can threaten, they got goals in them. And 𝐿𝐭𝐴, absolutely phenomenal, completely changed after his season in the Bundesliga, dominated the game as well. 𝗵𝐿𝐴 play for Bologna, had a good season there in Serie A, show what the Swiss potential could be, of course. But yeah, they are a very robust team, disciplined as well. And I think this is going to be an under 2.5 goals, really. Scotland will be happy even with the draw here, although the goal difference is so bad. Even with finishing with 3 points, might not be enough. 4 points maybe for Scotland could be the way out of the group. But under 2.5 goals, that pays 181. And that's why, because Switzerland, as I said, they're very compact, very robust. Scotland don't seem to have the strength up front. Remember, in qualifiers, Scott McTominay scored 7 goals, but from 8 shots on target. So maybe that numbers are not even sustainable. And I think Switzerland has got the ability to counter and to exploit the lapses, the defensive lapses that Scotland are gonna leave as well. But yeah, given the import of the match, maybe more team very, very cautious. A draw for Switzerland will be basically qualification guaranteed. Under 2.5 goals for me.
This game will be played in Cologne, and the Scottish fans were the MVP of the first game, so I'm sure they are going to have fun in the beautiful city of Cologne. Well, let's jump into Group B, and we start with Croatia, Albania. This game is going to be played Wednesday, 3 p.m. Both teams lost in the first match day, therefore they must win. Perhaps even a draw is not enough, especially, well, for both sides, especially for Croatia, because they are favorites for this game. We expected much more in the first game. Perhaps they weren't that bad, and the result is not fair enough. The one against Spain, they had the possession, the things that Spanish managers used to like, not anymore, but the lack of accuracy, they ended up losing. And Dani, and Albania was dangerous, was competitive against Italy, so it's not going to be that easy, I guess, for Croatia, this one.
These are 2 of the teams at the Euros, apart from Germany, they're going to have the biggest support in the group stage. So it's going to be a very intensive match. There were loads of Croatians in Berlin to watch the defeat against Spain. There were a lot of Albanians, of course, watching Albania. So it's going to be a proper grudge match, because it's almost last chance saloon for both. The draw is useless. They both need to win, and Croatia need to respond. The performance against Spain was disappointing, especially the way they got unpicked in midfield. Look, the midfield of Croatia it's supposed to be the strongest of all the three areas, but they struggled. Modric, Brozovic, 𝐿𝐵𝐴 really struggled against Spain dynamism. They had the ball, but not always in meaningful areas. Against Albania is different. Croatia will have the opportunity to push the line forward a little bit more, attack with the fullbacks even more. I think the best player for Croatia was 𝗀𝗏𝗏, ran a lot, had a couple of chances into the opposition box. But yeah, probably Croatia were deserving at least one goal against Spain. Alvaro will have to explain me why the Rodri was not sent off. It baffles me. I think he should have been sent off. The penalty was clear.
That's a red. That's a red.
It's a red.
Yeah.
And the Croatians were clever because they knew maybe 𝐻𝐈 had mistakes in him. He did one 3 years ago against Croatia. So they were clever. Probably they deserve a goal, and 𝐻𝐈 made a couple of good saves. But at the end of the day, Dalic understood the game was lost, made the substitution, changed 𝐿𝐵𝐴, changed Modric. So obviously they're focusing more on this game. And when it comes to Albania, they were clever. I think that goal from after 23 seconds is not by chance. More than half of the Albanian teams played in Serie A, and Di Marco and Bastoni play for Inter. So that game, that throwing into the feet of Bastoni is almost a codified action. It's something they do at Inter all the time. Bastoni was a little bit slow to react, but I think the Albanians might have studied a solution. And Bajrami, of course, who played for Sassuolo, was very quick, unless it was just by chance. But he took his chance so well. The problem is that they then Albania struggled to maintain the momentum, the composure. They offer pretty much nothing up front apart from a shot in the very last minute that maybe could have cost Italy the 2 points. And they were pinned back. Italy could have scored 2 or 3 in the first half. 𝗀𝗏𝗏 made a lot of great saves. But Albania will be optimistic. They score 1 goal, so the goal difference is not too bad. I do like the Croatian Asian handicap -1, by the way, because I think Albania are a bit limited up front. Unless they play with 2 up front, I don't see them really troubling Croatia. Croatia are much more organized, and I think they'll find a way to win this one. I think Croatia wins. Hence, I go for the Asian handicap -1, 193. If they win only by 1 goal margin, you get your money back.
Well, we haven't seen surprises yet in the Euros. We are doing this video on Monday, just in case there are surprises on Monday or on Tuesday. But Croatia should win. Otherwise, as we always say with Croatia, but they keep playing, this would be the end of the generation.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, for this game, I trust them to win. Croatia to win doesn't pay a lot, 153. So I'm going to go for an Asian handicap -1 for Croatia, which is 190. I didn't dislike Albania against Italy. I think that they were benefited by a crazy start when Bajrami scored the fastest ever finance strike, 23 seconds only. And then during the game, they competed, even though Italy was superior both technically and tactically, but at the end of the game, pretty much on the 90th minute, they had a chance. Asllani sent a very good ball to Manaj, and then he couldn't beat Donnarumma, but Albania at least stayed in the game. This is the most important thing for me. 𝗀𝗏𝗏 did a few really good saves as well, but the most important thing for me is that Albania, after Varela's goal, would have collapsed, and they didn't. But anyway, Croatia wasn't that bad against Spain. I think that the result, the 3-0 scoreline, flatters Spain a lot. It was a slow start, Spain versus Croatia. And then there was 5 minutes of football storm with goals, with chances, and the game changed totally. In those 5 minutes, from the 29th to the 33rd, Spain had 2 shots and Croatia had 3. Spain scored 2 goals, Croatia didn't score any. That was the difference. And then in the second half, Croatia was good again. They had loads of possession at some point. They created good chances. Stanisic had a very clear one. Then a goal from Petkovic was ruled out for encroachment. But I didn't dislike Croatia. I think they were the same team they have always been, with the difference that maybe this time they didn't have anyone up front who could make that difference. Perisic tried in the second half. Coming from an ACL is not easy. I believe that he will play in the second game, or he may even start it. But yeah, Croatia wasn't bad. The only thing is that as the minutes went by and they couldn't score, 𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the manager, started thinking about the next game. So, he removed from the pitch Modric, then Kovacic, then Kramaric, and they started thinking about the next game against Albania. And I believe that they are going to win it. So I'm going to go for that. Croatia to win, 153. Asian handicap -1 for Croatia, 190. Croatia was not that bad.
They must win, Croatia, actually both teams, no? But Croatia, they are the favorites. And then let's see what happens in the final game against Italy. And then our last game, perhaps the best game in this group stage in the Euros, together with France, Netherlands, is Spain-Italy. After the first match day, as I said at the beginning of the video, the draw is enough for both sides. I guess they will be very happy with that result. Italy suffered a little bit more against Albania. Spain made it too easy against Croatia, with Morata again scoring. Morata has fantastic numbers with the national team, especially in Euro tournaments. Alvaro, how do you see this Spain-Italy? Remember, we saw this game in the semifinals in the last Euros. We saw it also in the semifinals of the League Nations, two teams that are used to see each other many, many times.
Yeah, and Spain and Croatia too, in all fairness. So Spain and Italy have played a lot of football against each other lately. And, Spain and Croatia too. So they know each other very well. It's gonna be probably a little bit more difficult to read Italy than it was on reading Croatia for Spain, because Italy changed managers and Croatia has been using the same manager for many years now. But, I like Spalletti and I like Italy. I think that they have had, of course, topsy-turvy time over the last 5 years. They've been through thin and thick. They won the Euro. They didn't qualify for a few World Cups. But on the other hand, the technique of Italian players is really high. Barella the other day scored a beautiful goal. For me, it's the nicest of the tournament, just because the execution was so difficult. He had to kick the ball so fast, and I don't know if he kicked it with the laces or with the ankle, but he put the ball in the net, and it was a very difficult execution. Federico Chiesa was phenomenal. I mean, we know that he has many tricks in his box, and I'm very happy to see him play that level again. And then 𝗍𝗏𝗏, I think that he offered a very good solution to the strikers too. 𝗍𝗏𝗏 saved a good attempt from him, but 𝗍𝗏𝗏 was moving very well, and he has scored 10 goals since March international break, and I think that he's in a good run, despite him not scoring against Albania. But yeah, it was a good performance by Italy. They showed the resilience of a champion, because after you score so early, you can collapse. And Italy scored in 17 minutes. They came back and they turned the situation around. So it's going to be a good game. I also think that Spain was decent against Croatia. 3-0 was a scoreline that flat.
Only decent, in your opinion?
No. Maybe that was me being a little bit ruthless. I would say that Spain was a 7 out of 10, but there were flaws, in my opinion. They weren't that good. You mentioned before the possession thing, and it's going to be something that will happen in this tournament. I think that when you have wingers like Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, who are so good individually, especially Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal was incredible against Guardiola. It's very tempting to give them the ball. And if you give them the ball, they are going to take some risks. And when they take risks, you lose the ball. So that is one of the reasons why Spain is not so good in possession these days. But, you have to play the ball to them, because, they make a difference, or they can make a difference. Also, Fabian Ruiz was the player of the match against Croatia. He scored a beautiful goal. And you mentioned Morata as well. I think that Spain showed their efficiency with Morata scoring his goal. Spain didn't have many chances, but scored the chances, 3 goals in 18 minutes. So both sides, Spain and Italy, arrive in a good moment to this game. However, I do believe that Spain is a slightly favorite. Don't ask me why. Maybe the performance against Croatia, which was good, not super good, but good, point me in that direction. So I'm going to back Spain somehow with an Asian handicap minus 0.25. So if they draw, which is a possibility, because the draw is not bad for none of them, you suffer, have a lose. But if you win, you will win 188, and I like it.
Well, Spain is really favorite according to the bookies, 2.2 for the La Fuente's team to win. Italy is 3.8, so there is a lot of value. On Spalletti's men, Dani, were you as happy as Alvaro in 𝗲𝗏𝗀𝗀 winning against Albania?
Always happy to win the first game, and this is something Italy has got as used in tournaments. If you win the first game, you're off to a good start. Not necessarily means you go to the final, but you're off to a good start. And in a Euros where 16 out of 24 teams qualify for the next round, winning the first game, you are almost guaranteed to go into the next phase, depending if first, second, or third. Now, having said that, Italy are unbeaten now in 7 games, but it doesn't mean there is such a huge optimism going to the game of France, because the last time against Spain, because the last time they lost, it was against England. You have to look how Italy played, who they played. Now, what do you actually save from that game against Albania? I save the reaction. I like the reaction after going in behind. Italy were composed, had a clear mind, attacked it, but without being frenetic, and they found 2 good goals, because the cross from Pellegrini for the header from Bastoni is great, and the strike from Barella is fantastic and so well measured. And then they kept going. They had chances. 𝐿𝐵𝐴 made some intelligent runs. 𝐜𝐭𝐚𝐲 was back to his best, at least for the first half. Fratesi had a good chance, paired by 𝗲𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀. They didn't give too much of a chance to Albania. And you could tell that the way Spalletti wants to play, this sophisticated way, taking risk with both Calafiori and Bastoni bringing the ball out of the back, he started to pay off. And also credit for Dimarco, because after doing the mistake for the first goal, he had a good game and he pushed on a lot. However, this is what you save from that performance. The second half, a little bit low-key, a bit like England against Serbia, if you like. The changes that Spalletti made in the second half, introducing defensive players, 𝗵𝐵𝐴 and �cristante, didn't help, which make me think Italy perhaps don't have a plan B. The plan B cannot just be sit back and defend. Remember, we don't have Bonucci, we don't have Chiellini. We can't just do that anymore. We need to try and win the game with the style of play, with possession. And I am a little bit worried for the Italian midfield now against the likes of Pedri, against the likes of Rodri, against the likes of Fabian Ruiz. The double pivot, Barella and Jorginho, I'm not sure they will be able to chase the game if needs be. And it reminds me of the semi-final of 3 years ago when Italy were under the cosh for many minutes against Spain and probably deserved to go out. I wonder if Spalletti is going to switch to a back 3 and play with the wing backs to give us a little bit more protection against Yamal and Williams. I wonder whether 𝗏𝗏𝗏 might be introduced from the first minute, in which case Italy are going to retract. But then obviously not playing with Chiesa wide, I think it depotentiates him a little bit. Look, I think Italy done well so far, and the expectations were very low. And a quick word on Spain, I do see them favorite because I see them an evolution of what they were already doing. They were already a possession team. They were already a team that liked to dominate, but now they got the cutting edge with Yamal and Williams. Of course, I think that's where the game is going to be won and lost. Yamal and Williams managed to pin back the Italy fullback and take them on and win the duels. Probably Spain going to score a couple of goals. On the other hand, if Chiesa and Dimarco can push on and Yamal, Williams, or whoever plays there doesn't quite cover them, I do fancy Chiesa against Cucurella. I do fancy Dimarco having some good crossing opportunities. That's really the key. But let's see what kind of formation Spalletti goes for. I like the both teams to score. I think they both are very capable of scoring up front. They do have some frailties in defense. I'm not sure about the Italy centre-backs. I don't think Spain, with Lenormand and whoever plays a centre-back, they got so much coverage. And Unai Simon has got maybe a few mistakes in them. I like both to score anyway, which pays well. Which pays 192.
It's going to be Nacho. Laporte is still injured. Yes. I pretty much like the Spain new style, to be honest. Much more direct, much more entertaining with a lot of options up front. Well, you see goals, Dani, the both teams to score. If we go for over 2.5 goals. For instance, this pays 2.20.
Yeah.
It pays more the over than the under and could be a good solution for this game. Actually, going for the over. Yeah, Alvaro?
No, very quickly. And my other pick was over 2.25 goals. I like it. 190. It's pretty decent. You have a safety net with you as well. And I think that these sides are capable of scoring, really.
And we are seeing goals in this Euro,
Yep.
in the first days of the Euros, which is a very good thing. So why not going for goals? We haven't seen yet a goalless draw, for instance. Well, good luck, especially Alvaro in this case. Now, Dani, come on, tell me your safe bet, Italy to win.
No, never. I think it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be Spain, Italy over 2 goals. 163 is a safe bet. It's an Asian line. Only 2 goals, you get your money back. I think they're going to be 3 goals in the game.
Hopefully, it's the first of the 2 times these teams meet.
Yeah,
in the
we'll meet
Euros.
again. Hopefully, we meet again. Because if we meet again, we meet in the final probably.
Exactly.
That'd be
That would
great.
good news. Alvaro, your safe bet?
Probably you guessed that I was going to go for Germany. So it would be Germany to win and over 2.5 goals in that game, 173. It's an ambitious safe bet here.
Indeed. And the ACCA?
Yeah, it will be Germany to win and over 2.5 goals in the game, Croatia to win, Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Spain. Altogether, 498.
Dani, Fisichella?
Similar. Germany, Hungary over 2.5 goals. Croatia, Asian handicap -1. Spain, Italy, both need to score. ACCA 604.
How much we are enjoying these first days of the Euro. So we have 4 great games on Wednesday, on Thursday to enjoy. Thank you, Dani. Thank you, Alvaro, our dream team together. Bye-bye.